I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the Indian Qualifier for this year's PDC World Championship, Prakash Jiwa. Thanks for the time, Prakash. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you very much, Alex.
Good to hear. And we're still talking less than 2 weeks since you won that Indian Qualifier to secure your debut at the Ali Pali. What have the last 2 weeks been like for you since winning that qualifier? Is it fully sunk in that you'll be playing at the World Championship?
Well, it's absolutely amazing, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's a dream come true. I've just been inundated with good luck messages and messages from all around the world as well. And I think people are glad to see me actually playing on stage representing India. So yes, it's been marvellous.
Good to hear. And we'll come back to the qualifier later, but I read on Facebook you said you dreamt of playing in a World Championship since you started playing darts 35 years ago. So let's go back to the start for you in darts. How and when did you get introduced to the game?
Well, I started off at the young age of 17. I went to the local working men's club, and just like there was a set of darts on the board, I pulled them out and just started playing. And then, this is nice. This is quite an easy game. And then I got asked to play against somebody. I said, I've never played darts before. But they said, it's easy. We'll help you do the chalking and everything. Just put your name on and then mark the board and we'll show you. I said, I'm not good at taking away or anything. And I've never played darts before. He said, we'll show you. So I went to the local working men's club and found myself beating the locals. I thought, this is all right. And then eventually I bought myself a set of darts, just cheap £4.99 darts, and I found myself getting invited to play in other leagues. I enjoyed the practice, so I was practicing at the local working men's club, the rugby workers club, literally 3 or 4 hours every day. I started to win titles at a young age of 18. Found myself then being invited to play for Rugby Super League, again at 18, I think, or 18 or 19. From there, my results were very good playing for the Super League. Then I got invited to play for Warwickshire County, which again, back in the day, representing the county was a very big honour, and it still is. Because 35 years on, I'm still playing for Warwickshire County. So that's how I sort of started, really.
And I guess from there, it wasn't until your 40s we saw you first qualify for the UK Open and then coming through Q School when that was first introduced a year or so later. So what was it about those events when they came in that made you want to maybe push yourself a bit further in darts and try the PDC out?
Well, you played county for a number of years, and then the PDC come along, and it was like you watch it on TV and you think to yourself, I can do what they do, let's give it a go. And if you're good enough in the PDC, in the qualifiers, and you get through, you're regarded as in the top 128 in the world. And I managed to do that. And I got to play my heroes like Bill Taylor and Gary Anderson and Raymond Barneveld. So the first year was a bit of a learning curve for me because I'm in awe of these people, watching them on TV. And now I'm actually playing alongside them. I'm in the same tournament as them. So once that, I got over the fact that these players are going to be there, my next task was to make myself a name and beat these players, which I was capable of doing, and I actually did manage to win a few games, which then gives you confidence. So then as the years go on, you become more and more confident and you establish yourself a name, and you're not frightened of these players anymore. You're more of a dart player, and you're going there to earn yourself a living and make yourself a name. And that's what I was doing. That's the confidence I had going into these games. So to start with, yes, I was just like in all of these people, and then in time, I'm thinking, I can beat you. And I was beating them, so you're very good.
Well, you mentioned as well playing for Warwickshire. It was through Warwickshire that how you got into the UK Open, your first taste of a PDC major in 2010. And I was looking back at that event. There was no Riley's qualifiers back then, but the PDC offered a spot to each county that voted in favour of them discussing the PDC's offer to buy the BDO. So how did it work you getting the spot? Was it based on performances, or was there a qualifier to get that spot?
No, there was a qualifying spot for that position which Warwickshire held, and I remember going through the field, and I think a Warwickshire A player at the time. I remember going through the field and beating some of the County B players and some of the County A players, and I still remember in the final I beat a guy called Mark McGeady, who's been also on the PDC and in the BDO as well, World Championship. So that was a great honour for me to actually beat him and then represent Warwickshire in the UK Open. And that's where I got my first chance to meet Eric Bristow as well. Eric Bristow was giving a talk to all the qualifiers. So again, another one of my heroes, which I've only ever seen on TV. Managed to see him live and have a talk with him.
And we have to ask, what did Eric say to you and all the other qualifiers?
Well, one thing I remember specifically is it was Keith Deller actually and Eric. But Eric was saying, and it's a point which I still managed to live up to today. And he says, get yourself ready for that first game. If you need 10 points, get 10 points down your neck. Now, me as a start player, I've never drank 10 points in my life. But he says, get yourself right. You need 3 points, then get 3 points. Because if you don't get yourself ready for that first game, you will not be in the tournament. And I live by that today. You've got to get yourself ready for that first game. Because if you don't win that first game, you're out of the tournament. Very good advice.
Definitely, yeah. Well, you had the UK Open, and then as we mentioned, 2011, the first Q School, you get through that, and 2012, your second year with a tour card, the PDC introduces the European Tour, which we've seen how big that's got now. You played in the very first one, winning through the qualifiers, facing James Wade on that first evening out in Austria. What was it like getting to experience the PDC stage and being a part of that event?
Well, yes, so I've never experienced anything like that, playing in front of a crowd, but to play James Wade on the main stage in front of like 2,000-3,000 people, I'll be lying if I say I wasn't nervous, but once I got into it, once I got into the match, I was feeling good, and I thought I played very well. I think James beat me 6-3 on that occasion, and took out some big checkouts against me, so I managed to play to a good level, and just his finishing that was great on that particular occasion. But I liked it. The crowd was lovely as well. No one was booing me, which was a good thing.
Since then, you've been successful 2 more times at Q School, 2015 via the Order of Merit, 2017 you got the job done on the first day, and at the time you were only the 5th player to have won a tour card 3 times at Q School. But just how tough is Q School to get through?
It's getting tougher, and it was getting tougher and tougher each year. I'm not saying that the first time wasn't tough. There's some extremely good players when I played along the first Q School. There was people like Dave Chisnell there, John Henderson, people like that at Q School on the first one that I went to. I mean, they've gone on to become superstars, but each year or every time you qualify or try to qualify now to be held a tour card for 2 years and you have to go back, it's getting tougher and tougher. I think when I went, there was like 140, players to try and get through. Now you're going through nearly 300, 400 players at these events, and they're all very good. So it's getting tougher and tougher each year to qualify. But once you do qualify, the rewards are there.
You dropped off the tour at the end of 2018, and we've obviously had some long breaks since then with the pandemic, but you've still played Q School, the Challenge Tour. Did you take any breaks from darts at all, or have you always kept the practice up and carried on playing when there were no events on?
No, I've kept practicing at home and going to, during the pandemic, I went to Q School and we was isolated at Q School, and I had to stay in a hotel because I managed, because there's 2 phases now to Q School. You have to go through a 3-day, like a qualifier before you enter the 128 to try and get a tour card from there. So I had a board and I was practicing in the hotel room. So the pandemic gave me a lot of time to actually practice as well, and I've got a board at home, so I do a lot of practicing at home. But I don't like the actual online darts. You play against somebody online on a computer. I don't think that's real practice for me. Actually playing somebody or actually just practicing on my own will give me more time to practice.
Well, let's get on to this year, and we've seen a lot more events come back this year, including the Riley's qualifiers for the UK Open, which you won one of them, and me and my colleague Matthew Kiernan, we were in the multi-board room for that first afternoon of the UK Open. We could hear the cries of Jiwa, Jiwa. How much did you enjoy being back in a major event like that again?
Oh, it was incredible, because I just went on the off chance. There was a qualifier in Coventry I've been there, done it, got the T-shirt. I had no intentions of going back to, because I've done the UK Open sort of thing. I've had some good memories, and it was just on the off chance my wife was away somewhere and I had nothing to do on that particular Sunday, and so I entered, I think the night before, and I went and met with a few people from rugby. We went on the train, we went over to there, and I thought I'd give it a go. And I found I played not too good to start with, but as it got on, as the tournament went on and I was winning, I was playing better and better. And then I found myself in the quarterfinals, and I managed to win that, I think 4-0, something like that. And I played the semi-finals, which I think I won 5-1. And then when I played the final, I was even in better form, and I beat somebody, Stephen Rice or someone, and I played really well, and I managed to qualify. So I'm thinking, great, you know what I mean? It was a great opportunity for me to be back at the UK Open again. When I played, it was in Bolton. I started off in Bolton, but then we went to Minehead. So I've been to Minehead before, but I didn't have a happy experience the first time, because it took us like 6-7 hours, and there was snow warnings and things like that. We shouldn't have really attended because it was freezing there. But I managed to go this time, and it was a lot better.
Well, you've become the king of the qualifiers this year, because let's get on to the Indian Qualifier for the World Championship. And looking back on your Twitter, I think in 2018 when you had a tour card, you said you weren't allowed to represent India in the PDC World Cup unless you were a resident for 2 years. That's going back obviously a few years now. But when did the option of going to India to play in the qualifier materialise for you?
It only happened this year. I think the PDC changed some of the rules and regulations, and it stated that if you was a citizen or dual citizen of a country, you was eligible to play. And I had a contact in India who contacted me and said, would I be interested? Of course, it's been always one of my dreams to actually play darts in India. I said, okay, if you're happy for me to play, let me just find out from the officials, the PDC over here. So I spoke to Alan Warner, very helpful. He spoke to Matt Porter, in charge of the PDC, and it was all agreed that, yes, I am eligible to play because I hold a dual citizenship for India, which I've held for almost 8 or 9 years now, but it only come available this year that I was eligible to play. So me and my wife decided to go to India and see, look, if you're good enough, you're going to win. If you're not good enough, then at least you've tried. And all I wanted to do was try. I tried, and I was very fortunate to get through.
Yeah, it definitely paid off. The final almost went all the way. You raced into a 5-0 lead against Nitin Kumar before he won the next 4 legs. He missed darts to take it all the way. What was going through your head as you watched Nitin miss those darts for 5-all and you stepped up with a chance to close out the game?
Well, it was very tough because I started the match off. We played just previous to that. We had a mini tournament on the Saturday called the IDF State Championships, and I managed to get to the final in that, and I played Nitin on the stage over there, and it was a good game, very high scoring game, and he beat me 5-3. I'm thinking this was up on the stage, and the stage wasn't very good because the floorboards were crackling and everything, so it was off-putting a little bit. Because on the floor I was playing some really good darts. I was doing 11, 12, 13 darters on the floor, and I wasn't able to do that on the stage because of the floorboards, etc. So he beat me 5-3, and I'm thinking, okay, that's fine. It's just a little bit of a warm-up. On Sunday, we're on different halves of the draw, and sure enough, we met each other in the final. But this time it was over a longer format, best of 11. So best of 11 is what I'm used to, what I enjoy playing. And when I raced, just started, my finishing was great, which allowed me to get to a 5-0 lead. Of course, then you start thinking, because then heavy dart throwing then is your dreams are going to come true. And you start thinking, and the more you think, the more you miss. I did have opportunities to close the match out, but I think, the pressure, I'll be lying, I said the pressure it hit me hard, and it did, and it told as well, because it was all on the wire, but not in, and And I kept thinking to myself, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. And then when it got to 5-4, and I got myself into a winning position, and I left the double, Nitin still had the chance to make it 5-1, and I think he had the darts in the last leg. And I was just give me one more chance, just give me one more chance. And sure enough, he gave me that one more chance. I took a deep breath and looked at it, went in on the second dart. Just a big relief.
And we saw on the stream as well how pleased you were after winning the game. The double goes in, you'd secured your spot at Ali Pali. What does it mean to you to be making your debut in the biggest tournament in darts and at the age of 52 as well?
It's absolutely massive. And I've got to thank my sponsor, QSOL, who in March, while I was at the UK Open, offered me a contract to make my darts and give me a contract to do my stems and everything. And I was so chuffed about that. And the darts that they've actually personally made for me has made a massive difference. Absolute massive difference. It's not only giving me the confidence, but it's giving me the right tools to be able to do the job, because I've always been able to play darts. Always. But I think having the right equipment is a very big thing. And thanks to QSOL, they've made the darts to my specifications, and they've been working wonders.
Certainly have, and we know in darts, age is just a number. You're the same age as the reigning world champion, and until just recently, world number one, Peter Wright. So what has been the biggest motivation for you, though, to keep going, push for these achievements like qualifying for the World Championship?
Well, you see all these youngsters now throwing like 9 darters, like they're out of fashion and things like that. And like you say, age is just a number. I'm still fit, I'm still able, and yes, I can still hit 100 averages, and that's what you need now. If I wasn't able to hit them, I don't think I'd be getting the success that I've been getting at the moment. But because I am still hitting these 100 averages, every now and again, it's allowed me to, it's opened up a lot of new paths for me. And I've loved playing darts, and I enjoy playing darts, so I'm going to keep on playing darts as well. And whatever success it brings me still, then I'm just going to jump on that bandwagon.
2 more before we let you go. Wikipedia's got your walk-on down as Apache by the Sugar Hill Gang, a nod to your nickname Apache. Will you be sticking with that for Ali Pali, and how much are you looking forward to walking out to play in your first World Championship?
Right, the thing is, I'm having a few deliberations now, because there's a song called Punjabi MC, which I think the crowd would absolutely love, and it's a good catchy tune. I think the crowd would love it. I love the tune, and I think I might change my walk-on music to that, because I think I'm excited to be at the World Championships. I'm going to enjoy going on that stage and playing in front of the thousands of people that are going to be there watching, and TV cameras, and it's about the audience as well. If they're in a good mood, they'll be on your side, and if there's a good catchy tune, then I think I might go with that.
That's fair enough. And lastly, before we let you go, looking a little bit further ahead, we've seen you play a little bit of the World Seniors, the Modus League, but after the World Championship, what is going to be the next main goal for you? Is it to get another crack on the PDC Tour, or have you got your eye on something else?
No, I shall be going back to Q School in January, unless I make the semi-finals or the final of the actual World Championships, and I probably won't have to. But yeah, it's back to Q School for me. I've got the excitement of playing on the Modus as well, 2023. I've got the Seniors Tour to look forward to as well, and if I don't get my tour card, I've got the Challenge Tour as well. So there's a lot of darts coming up, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, before then, it is going to be the big one, the World Championship. Congratulations again on getting through the qualifier, and we wish you all the best for that debut at Ali Pali next month.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.